February 1991. Allied forces drive Saddam Hussein from Kuwait. Operation Desert Storm is the first major conflict in the age of 24-hour news. Reporting the war is a controlled business. On both sides, journalists are on a short leash. Their movements are restricted, their reports censored. But these pictures, broadcast around the world, were not shot by accredited news cameras, for one organisation declared independence from the broader media pack and determined to operate in greater freedom. These pictures were shot by Vaughan Smith, the founder of Frontline television, operating alone on the Allied front line.
We all risked our lives and our livelihoods for our journalism. I'm not sure which of the two was more difficult, but I know that societies are moved forward by those people who are prepared to take risks for their convictions.
It was the start of a remarkable venture in news gathering, Frontline television. Frontline's cameramen were to document most of the conflicts in the turbulent years that lay ahead. In Romania, Bosnia, Chechnya, Kosovo, Liberia, Afghanistan. Frontline knew no corporate or political loyalty. Independence was at its core. Its photojournalists worked freely as individuals. They were among the most courageous in the world. Some lost their lives. It was to remember them and to try to uphold the values that guided their work that Vaughan Smith founded the Frontline Club in Paddington in West London. In 3 years, the club has become home to a unique community of journalists, diplomats, international aid workers, writers and opinion formers, all holding one thing in common: a commitment to the idea of the independent witness, the independent voice. It started with less than 300 members. It now has over 1,000.
I believe very strongly that a free or an open society relies mostly on the courage and conscience of individuals. I'm determined at Frontline to build a strong, an independent, and an appealing enterprise designed to strengthen the individual journalist, and through that to ensure a diverse current affairs content.
The club has a commercial restaurant on the ground floor, which funds much of its programme. But the heart of the club is its members' room, and one floor above, its events chamber.
Welcome to the Frontline Club, once again.
The club's programme has grown to 4 or 5 public events a week, year-round. Exhibitions, book launches, screenings, debates, discussions, all open to the public and streamed live around the world on the Frontline website. In October 2006, Alexander Litvinenko told a packed meeting that his friend, the murdered journalist Anna Politkovskaya, had been killed on the orders of the Kremlin. 10 days later, Litvinenko himself was poisoned in a London restaurant. Frontline's ambition is to promote the habit of independent thought and open debate around the world. The club provides the content for Frontline Russia. It holds 2 events a week across the country, from Nizhny Novgorod to Novosibirsk. One day, Frontline hopes to open for business in Africa, in the Middle East, the United States, wherever there is a hunger for open discourse and honest exchange.
Brought to you from London's Frontline Club, where journalists from around the world rendezvous to discuss.
In 2006, CNN broadcast weekly for 4 months from the club's London base. To its members, the Frontline Club has become a cherished resource, not just a place to meet, but a natural home in which to think, to argue, to entertain.
We've had a good discussion, as we did tonight. Everybody's in a very... I noticed that the Iraqi ambassador, who is not the best friend of the Syrian, as you can imagine, actually chose to sit next to him. A very nice sign, you know. That's what the Frontline's for.
In 3 years, it's become a really comfortable home for a community of people who know each other from the road, who enjoy each other's company, who derive a lot of benefit and motivation from each other. But in a way much more important than that, it's become a kind of community of values, a place you come to remember what you stand for and the sorts of values you're meant to uphold, and it's a place where you come to reconnect with the idea of open exchange, free discourse, freedom of expression, and all the complicated things that those things mean.
We've just spent the evening talking about Zimbabwe, talking to people who have who are taking risks to talk to us, people who have family in Zimbabwe, people who have friends in Zimbabwe, talking very freely about what's happening, what the politics of the story is, and what the news gathering issues involved. You cannot get that anywhere else in London.
Yes, we want to take our talks as far and as wide across the world as we can. But there's more. The Frontline Club is becoming a new type of media entity by working to back independent journalism rather than to own it, and supported by our food and beverage operation. We're well placed to promote online and mobile content to viewers worldwide, and to develop an income stream and an audience for the individual journalist. This will enable journalists to take greater control of their own product.